Hey everybody, it's Kenya, and this is the Thank You for Saying No podcast, where we find meaning in life's unexpected turns. Hey everybody, this week we're doing a rejection reflection. These are shorter Thank You for Saying No interviews. They're 10 minutes or less and impromptu with people who have an inspiring Thank You for Saying No moment. That means we record these episodes anywhere and everywhere. We hope it inspires you and helps you start your day off on a positive note. Hey everybody, I'm here with Simona.
Hello.
And you might remember her actually because we did a podcast shout out for her podcast called
Happiness Happens.
Happiness Happens. Definitely check it out. It's everywhere.
Yes.
And so Simona has a really inspiring Thank You for Saying No moment that she's going to share with us today. No moment. Someone earlier today was like, what's a no-mo? I'm like, no moment.
I just had like an idea for you. We're going to have to talk about it offline.
Okay. So I want to know about a time you were told no, said no, or a situation didn't work out, but how you're thankful for that because of what it taught you or what it led you to.
I feel like I could give you so many different ones. Okay, one thing that I will say is off the bat, and I actually don't really talk about this publicly too much, so we'll talk about it here, and that's okay. So I got separated and divorced, separated last year and going through all of that. And it's really interesting because like things happen to us in life, like we don't know why they're happening. And the way that my life has like continued to open up and grow and like evolve and change and all this stuff, I never could have anticipated that. Yeah. Like I never could have expected that things would have come out the other side, but in a really powerful and like a really beautiful way. And so you take like a really hard moment that you would never anticipate being in your entire life, and still it can be truly life-changing, but in a good way. And I think it's all in how we look at things. Yeah. You know, in that time, I was doing a lot of interviews on Happiness Happens. And so even just having that constant reframe all the time of like, what does happiness mean to other people? And they're talking about happiness and like they're going on and all their stuff. And I'm like, it's changing the fabric and like the way that my mind is wired because it's not allowing me to stay stuck in this moment, you know? But then the other moment that I was thinking about too is when I used to work in corporate. And I don't like to follow rules. Okay.
Love it. Like it's spoken like a true creative.
I'm like, no, thank you. So I don't like to follow rules. And when I was working in corporate, there's so many rules and people can be so mean. And like, it's just like all this extra stuff and stress for like no reason. And I'm like, why? Like, why live like this? So I started saying no to different things. And I started being like, I don't agree with this. Like, no. And, but what that did was it created this confidence within myself of being able to actually say no. And I'm a huge people pleaser. I'm like, yes, no problem. Like, are you okay?
And you're like, twisted like your friend's like, yeah, totally fine. I can do it. It's not a problem.
I would love nothing more. Yeah. And then I'm like, you know, I'm like, man, like I didn't really want to do that, you know? So it teaches you when you start to say no, especially to things that you don't fundamentally agree with, it teaches you how to build that resilience and how to keep going and how to keep standing up for yourself and like for things that are right and for things that you don't believe in, things that are, you know, you see injustice, like all of the things, like it gives you this confidence to be more of you know?
And I think when we're not used to saying no, it feels really heavy and it feels very combative and confrontational. But when you get used to it, it's actually just a normal conversation. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be like, no, I'm not doing that. It can be like an actual conversation and that's how things change and ideas grow and evolve. And it is so normal.
Exactly.
I think, but it feels so hard.
And for me, one of the things was like, I don't want to be offensive to people. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to say no and then someone be like, how could she say that? How could she do that? Like whatever that story is that comes afterwards. But I also don't want to come off as like cocky. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I don't know how to explain it in a way that makes the most sense. Cause it's like, you think about if you have like an idea, how many ideas do you stuff down? How many ideas do you not share? How much stuff do you not put out there in fear of like somebody else being like, no, I don't agree, or no, I don't this, or I don't think that this, you know what I mean? And so it's like, if you know that something is the better thing, so like in corporate, for example, I know that something should be done in a specific way. I'm not going to do it the way that you want me to do it because I know that it should be done in a specific way. And then it ends up like you're staying true to you. But that's hard to do because then, you know, people have their own stories. Like this person is trying to add stress. They're trying to be bossy. They're trying to this. And it's like, you know, I don't know if you get this, but like, I don't, as a woman, I'm just like, I don't want to be bossy. Like, I don't want to be seen in any other way, you know?
So there's 3 versions of like you, and maybe versions is the wrong word, but there's the version that we see.
Yeah.
Like there's the person we think we are.
Yeah.
There's the person other people think we are. And then there's the person we think other people think we are.
I live in that space like all the time. I'm like, oh my God, I'm really sorry.
And the truth is we don't actually know what other people think unless they directly tell us. But usually how we think other people think about us is our insecurity. And like, and where our fear is. I didn't come up with that.
No, but it's true.
Saying, yeah. No, it is. And we're not responsible for what other people think of us or what we think other people think of us. All that, if our intentions are pure and we're coming from a good place, who cares how other people perceive it?
Yeah.
Well, that's not blanketly.
No, but I know what you mean though, because it's like, how much weight are you actually going to give that thing? You know, I was even thinking about today too, like the talk that I did earlier today. I'm like thinking afterwards, I'm like, was it good? Was it any good?
No, it was really good.
But these are the stories I'm like, oh my God, like maybe people didn't like it. Maybe people thought it was boring. Maybe it was this. Maybe it didn't land. Maybe I didn't share enough. Maybe I didn't do it. Like it's all these stories. And then I'm like, are these actual real things or am I just creating them?
No, it was great. What I really liked about your talk was your examples and how you kind of pulled from your own experience and like your podcast and stuff. And I really liked, of course, because of the Thank You for Saying No podcast, how you talked about a really hard moment you were going through, but then what you experience now is nothing you could have ever imagined when you were in that space.
Yeah.
Because that's Thank You for Saying No.
Yeah.
Like looking back and like, thank God that happened because it led me to this.
Yeah. We can get so stuck in like this thing in my life did not go the way that I thought it was going to go. But we also have to remember too that it's kind of like meant to go that way. You know what I mean? Whatever your beliefs are, whatever you stand on that, like in some ways, the universe orchestrates everything that we need in the exact moment that we need it, even if we don't understand why or how we need it.
Yeah.
And it comes into our awareness and it's like, I can't imagine why I'm in this moment right now. And like, this really sucks. And like, I wish that this wasn't happening. And also, okay, what's the lesson? What's it trying to teach me? How am I growing? How am I learning? And then you just become this more in tune, more aligned, more elevated version of your own self.
So thank you for sharing how your separation kind of led you now, as you're sharing with us, all this just in a more healed space. And the no in corporate, we just love a corporate no.
We love a corporate no.
We love a corporate no.
I love that.
Thank you for sharing this with us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This is so fun.
Really quick shout out. We are at the Empowered podcast, which is a podcast that Simona put on. Oh yeah. Do you want to tell them what it is really quick?
Yes, I do. So Empowered Podcasting is a conference that there's a whole bunch of us that put it on together, and it's for indie podcasters. And we wanted to help creators find a way to become even more empowered in their own creation journey, podcasting journey, and bring people together so that you can find community and like network with each other. And what? That noise?
Yeah.
Like it was a bit aggressive.
It was a van. Like, why is he driving like that?
He's like revving it. Like
they probably can't hear it here, but it's like a really loud van outside.
And we were like
revving his engine.
That's so funny. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to create a space for creators and podcasters to come together, to learn, to grow, to network, but to actually get it, you know, to learn in a way that's like more in depth and just to like find their people and you know what I mean, and just build connections and conversations and all of the above. So
you've really created that space. Like I've met people here that I will stay in touch with. I even met someone
so good
through someone. I met someone through someone that I've never met, and we connected, and they love the podcast. So I'm like,
it's literally insane. Right. But it's like I was even saying too, like in my talk earlier today, like one of my best friends became my best friend through my podcast.
Aww.
Like we don't know these things. Like you don't know, you have no idea what's going to happen in your life. We have an idea of how we want things to go, but like at the end of the day, you have to be open to the magic of the journey. Like you just have to.
I think on that note we should end.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Follow and subscribe to the Thank You for Saying No podcast, and you'll get every episode as soon as it's released.